What if the deadliest creature in Greek mythology didn't roar, but whispered your name? Stick around. This is one myth you won't want to forget. Welcome back, legends and seekers of the arcane. You've just crossed the threshold into the shadows, where myth and reality collide. This is Myth or Real, your digital sanctum for the forgotten, the feared, and the fascinating. Today, we descend into the underbelly of Greek mythology to unearth a creature as mysterious as it is monstrous, the Manticore. But before we step into the darkness, if you find this tale gripping, a like and a subscribe would help me out tremendously, and it costs you absolutely nothing. Also, drop your favorite mythical character in the comments, whether it's kings, warriors, demons, angels, or beasts like this one. All right, sharpen your blades, steady your torch, and follow me. In the twilight days of the old world, when gods still whispered through oracles and monsters roamed lands uncharted, a terror stalked the sands, unseen, unheard, unstoppable. It was said to be born of nightmare and raised by chaos. A beast with a lion's body, the tail of a scorpion, and a face that mimicked man. The Manticore. Though often associated with Persian origins, the Manticore was adopted into the tapestry of Greek mythology during the Hellenistic period, when cultures collided through conquest and trade. The Greeks, fascinated and horrified, wove their own version of the beast into legend, sharpening its features and embedding it into the darker recesses of their mythos. Travelers spoke in hushed tones of a creature that moved with feline grace yet struck with the deadliness of a viper. Its eyes burned like coals, its teeth were triple-rowed like a shark's, and its tail, oh, that tail, could hurl venomous spines as if fired by a god's own wrath. To the Greeks, this was no mere animal. The Manticore was the embodiment of cunning brutality, a predator that didn't just kill, it hunted, it learned, it remembered. Some ancient philosophers believed the Manticore was a punishment, a being born of Typhon's blood, perhaps, or spawned from Echidna, the mother of monsters. But unlike its monstrous cousins, like the Hydra or the Chimera, the Manticore was intelligent. Some versions even suggest it could speak, mimicking human voices to lure prey. Imagine hearing the cry of a lost child in the woods, only to find yourself staring into the crimson eyes of death itself. Aristotle reportedly dismissed tales of the Manticore as fanciful travelers' lore, exaggerated by spice traders returning from the East. But even he could not fully extinguish the fear the name evoked. According to the scrolls of Ctesias, a Greek physician and historian who served in the Persian court, the Manticore dwelled in India. But Greek poets transformed the setting, placing it in the wilder, cursed edges of their own maps, the Scythian plains, the Libyan deserts, or the craggy wastelands of the Hyperboreans. These were the blank spots on the parchment where only monsters dared tread. Now, every monster's tale requires a hero, and the Manticore's is no exception. There is one largely forgotten myth, buried in fragmented scrolls and rarely taught, of Euphemion, a lesser-known son of Ares. Brash, exiled, and haunted by omens, he sought redemption not through war, but through conquest of the unnatural. His quest led him to a cursed valley where livestock vanished, and bones littered the ground like broken spears. Guided by prophetic dreams and armed with a blade dipped in Gorgon's blood, Euphemion set a trap of fire and mirrors, exploiting the beast's rumored vanity and curiosity. They say the battle lasted a night and a day, that the beast whispered his name in the dark, taunted his lineage, and tested his sanity. But at dawn, only one shadow stood. Euphemion returned not with the Manticore's head, but with its stinger. He wore it upon his armor until the day he died. But even then, some claim the creature lived on, wounded, humiliated, waiting. But here's where things get really interesting. While most depictions describe the Manticore as a singular creature, some scholars believe there were many. A species, not a one-off terror. This theory stems from ancient mosaics found in Delos and Rhodes, showing multiple Manticore-like creatures, flanking a throne, possibly that of Hades or even Nyx, the goddess of night. Others interpret the Manticore not as a literal beast, but as a symbol of paranoia, of war's unseen enemies, of betrayal. After all, what better metaphor for treachery than a beast that looks like a man, talks like a man, but kills like a beast? In some Orphic cults, The Manticore was even said to guard the gateway between waking and dreaming, making it not just a monster, but a threshold keeper between life and death, thought and madness. As the classical age gave way to Rome and then to the shadows of the Dark Ages, the Manticore faded from mainstream myth. Bestiaries of the medieval period kept its flame alive, but stripped it of its ancient dignity, turning it into a cautionary tale or mere curiosity. Yet, even today, traces of the Manticore endure. In heraldry, in fantasy novels, in nightmares. Perhaps it's still out there, not as flesh and blood, but as an idea. A reminder that evil doesn't always come with fangs bared and claws drawn. Sometimes it smiles first. If this tale gripped you, even just a little, give it a like. Hit subscribe. It helps me more than you know, and it doesn't cost you a single drachma. And hey, tell me in the comments, who's your favorite mythological character? Are you drawn to the valiant kings, the cursed warriors, the fallen angels, or the monsters that haunt the edges of history? This has been Myth or Real, where the ancient whispers still echo, and the line between legend and truth is as thin as a shadow in firelight. Until next time, keep your eyes open and your back to the wall.